Shoot the Gap. Sorry guys, the Gut Edition. Once again, it's going to be me, the Gut, hosting the show in place of Brian the Amigo Baldwin. We're going to have the Shooter Ceasefire episode, and we're going to talk about Thanksgiving, because we had 3 games on Thanksgiving. They were all very eventful. Thanksgiving football, some of my favorite football. It's always good for fantasy. And these games didn't disappoint. These games all had, at least 48 points scored in them. The other 2 went over 50. And, it was a great game. 141st episode in this hopeful year of our Lord and Savior. And we have 3 good games. And, we're going to get into it really quickly. The first game, Bills and the Lions. Man, if you had Josh Allen, you were happy. If you had Jamal Williams, he delivered with a touchdown. Same thing with Amon-Ra St. Brown. If you had Tyler Bass, you were very, very happy. And, if you had Gabriel Davis, you were upset. If you had Diggs, you were happy. But besides that, that was about it. We didn't see a whole lot for really anyone else. I mean, Jared Goff, he was serviceable. But it wasn't pretty. It wasn't beautiful. The next game, man, I can barely. I'm sick. I'm doing this sick. The Cowboys beat the Jets. I can't believe that they did. The Giants. I can't believe they beat the Giants. And Zeke was the one that got the touchdown, not Tony Pollard. Zeke got a 6-yard touchdown. He still had less carries than Pollard, but he was just a little more productive with it. But they did say that Pollard looked better, which is good. Pollard got vultured for another touchdown. It was really disappointing because all the touchdowns were gotten pretty close to the end zone. Could have been a huge day for Tony Pollard, but I digress. Saquon did good. That was about it. I don't know. The Giants' offense, I feel like it's so hard to predict. It isn't really worth trying to get points from fantasy outside of Saquon. And the Vikings actually beat the Patriots. This was pretty crazy. They seem to be picking it up a notch. They came out swinging. They got a touchdown in the first quarter. And I mean, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, they were doing good. Dalvin Cook, it didn't look like Dalvin Cook really did that great, which is very disappointing for fantasy managers. And it also looks like the Patriots starting wide receiver got injured. So thoughts and prayers to him. I know Hunter Henry said that he thought he caught a touchdown, which wasn't a touchdown. So that kind of sucked. Main injury news is that Leonard Fornette, Mike Williams, they're both out. DeAndre Hopkins, he was banged up last week. Haven't seen him banged up at all this week. Real question is, what quarterback will he have playing for him? Other news, Giovanni Bernard has been elevated from the practice squad for the Bucs. Marlon Mack's on the Broncos. There's not a lot of whole real good ideas worth mentioning, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and get into the Shooter Ceasefire for these games. Before we do that, I would like to have a word from our sponsor.
To shoot the
High Volume Music Radio, the pride of Sunnyside, with shows like Rock and Roll Radio, Bring Back the A-Track, the Brown Sugar Express, and Blame It on the Boogie with Aunt Boogie. Log in now at highvolumeradio.com. And remember, if it ain't high volume, it ain't loud enough.
Now back to Shoot the Gap with your host, Brian the Amigo Baldwin.
Or in this case, me, the Gut Marshall. So the first game we have are the Bucs and the Browns. The Bucs are at 5-5. Browns are at 3-7, and the Bucs, they have a chance of actually winning their division still at this point. I believe the Falcons are somehow leading their division, or no, I think the Bucs are actually, yeah. And the biggest takeaway from this game is start Rachaad White. Running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Leonard Fournette, is injured. That is who I am focusing on in this game. This is going to be the Rachaad White show. I've been hating on him all year because I've been a Leonard Fournette manager, but I picked up Rachaad White in my league that I had Fornette in, and I'm a believer, man. I'm a believer. Let's see. I'm going to have to check the injuries because Tampa Bay's team is so fucking injury prone. Looks like Gage and Fornette are out, but that is going to be it. Yeah, it looks like the other wide receivers are playing. Shoot on Godwin, shoot on Evans, shoot on Brady, shoot on White. Probably that's it. For the Browns, probably shoot on just Amari Cooper and maybe Njoku if you don't have a better option at tight end. I'll go with that. Cincinnati Bengals, Tennessee Titans. This is going to be a fun game. Joe Mixon is out for this game. Very sad. Very sad. Very disappointing. We all wanted to see Joe Mixon play. He's out with a concussion. Jamar Chase is questionable with a hip injury still. And this is going to be the Derrick Henry show. Big news on this one. It is snowing in Vermont. Start Derrick Henry. Shoot on Derrick Henry. We're going to be shooting on him. I would probably, I guess, shoot on, no one else for the Titans. I don't keep tabs on their passing if it's good because it flows through Henry. And that's how it's going to stay. As far as the Bills go, start Burrow, start the healthy wide receivers in Higgins and Boyd, and probably Hurst this game since Mixon is out. And we can stream the Bengals' next guy at running back. Brian is over here turning in his grave that I have not already researched the name of the backup to Joe Mixon, just in the event that he might play, but c'est la vie. We're starting that guy. We're going to start McPherson. We're not going to start the kicker for the Titans. He's not worth me saying his name. And that's about it. I don't really think either defense would be worth starting. I mean, maybe the Bengals, but I don't know. I just feel like there's better options unless you're just locked in at them. The Houston Texans are playing the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins at 7-3. Texans at 1-8-1. And we have one great team playing against the Texans. So Texans pretty simple. If Pierce is healthy, you start him, and it looks like he is healthy. Let's see. Yeah, he's not on the injury report, so I would start him, and that's about it. It looks like it's going to be the Jeff Wilson Jr. show over in Miami with Raheem Mostert is doubtful. Obviously, we're going to shoot on Tua. We're going to shoot on to Cheetah, Tyreek, and we're going to shoot on Waddle. You can be shooting on Gesicki, but I would not. And we're going to shoot on Jeff Wilson Jr. as well as Dolphins defense and Dolphins kicker. Texans, Pierce. That's it. Chicago Bears, New York Jets. Pretty boring game with some pretty questionable uniforms. Jets, we are going to be looking at mainly the running backs. They are going to be having a new quarterback playing. Hopefully, that means that Tyler Conklin will do good because Brian picked up Tyler Conklin. I hope that Tyler Conklin does well for him. The big news, will Justin Fields play? He's questionable with that shoulder. If Fields plays, shoot on Fields, shoot on Mooney, shoot on Claypool, but I don't like saying it. And, of course, shoot on David Montgomery. Now, without Fields, none of those guys really seem that good. Zach Wilson is not going to be starting, so I would say shoot on Conklin. That's a good move, Brian. I really like that move. As far as the rest of the Jets go, I don't know. It just feels very committee-ish, and I'm not ready to pick a certain player out of the group. Speaking of committee, the Atlanta Falcons at 5-6, second in the NFC South, are knocking on the door. The 6-4 Washington Commanders, fourth in the NFC East. Now, for this game, of course, Patterson. We're going to be shooting on Patterson. We're going to be shooting on Scary Terry. And we're not going to be shooting on Taylor Heineke because he's bad. He's bad at the game. He is not good at football. And we could shoot on Curtis Samuel if we so wish, but that's a gutsy and a ballsy move. I am starting Curtis Samuel. I'm starting him in my auction league. I'm starting him in the flex. I got Samuel, or Davis already played, and I got Michael Pittman. So we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see what happens. And yeah. I mean, Falcons, Patterson. That's about it. Drake London, probably that Pitts is out now. That's about it. And Commanders. I feel like the running back situation is going to be what it has been all year, which is just kind of muddy. We have Brian Robinson Jr. now, Antonio Gibson, and Curtis Samuel taking snaps. So I guess Brian Robinson Jr. is the play. The Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers are playing. This is going to be a fun game. We got orange and blue, the 3-7 Broncos at the 3-8 Panthers. And the big news, Russell Wilson, he's actually kind of been playing better as of recently. It's looking like Jerry Jeudy's out with an ankle injury. The Broncos have a lot of guys that are kind of banged up. Chase Edmonds is on IR with a high ankle sprain. And it's looking like the Cortland Sutton show. And, Russell, if you're really desperate, I understand wanting to start him. I feel like Deontay Foreman, he didn't do as good last week, but I would still start him this week. I would start DJ Moore. Those are the guys that I would start on the Panthers that I would shoot on. I wouldn't be shooting on the Panthers quarterback no matter who's starting. And I really wouldn't be looking the Broncos defense or the Panthers. I mean, I guess you could look maybe Broncos defense just because of how bad the Panthers are. And honestly, same thing Panthers, but I don't know. I don't like doing that. I like looking at better defenses. Like I started the Patriots and I felt good about that one. And I'm starting the Eagles and I feel good about that one. So hopefully you have a good defense that you're locked in because it's not hard to get one of the 10 good defenses. Speaking of which, Baltimore Ravens and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't think either of these teams have one of the good defenses. The Ravens are first in the AFC North. The Jags are third in the South. And it's looking like this is going to be an easy game. Jackson, shoot on. Mark Andrews, shoot on. Demarcus Robinson, if he plays, shoot on. Same thing with Devin Duvernay, and they're both questionable. Isaiah Likely is out with an ankle injury. I'm sorry, Isaiah Likely, but as a Mark Andrews manager, that is fucking awesome news. This is the Mark Andrews. Yes, this is the Mark Andrews game. Mark Andrews is gonna do awesome. You heard it here first, folks. Shoot on Mark Andrews. Shoot on Christian Kirk. Shoot on ETN. Lamar Jackson. That's about it. Justin Tucker. And it's looking like after that we have a couple more games. We have 1, 2, 3. So we have 6 more games. You have the Chargers and the Cardinals. This is interesting. AFC West, NFC West, second place in division, supposed to be better. Third place in division, supposed to be better. 2 quarterbacks. They were similar in rank coming through the season. Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray. Who are you shooting? We're shooting on both of them. We're locked and loaded on Hopkins. We're shooting on Hopkins. Mike Williams is out. We're not shooting on him. Looks like Keenan Allen is going to be carrying the team as well as Austin Eckler. So we're shooting on those guys. And that's probably going to be maybe Gerald Everett too. Looks like those are going to be who you have carrying the Chargers. As far as the Cardinals go, Marquise Brown hasn't. I don't think he's going to play on Sunday, and it's going to just be the D-Hop show. I'm not really looking at either of those kickers. They've both historically had problems at kicker as of recent years, and the Chargers defense is still not what it once was. But you know what? We're going to give him the start anyway because of how sloppy with the ball Kyler Murray is. And if Kyler Murray doesn't start, we might have Colt McCoy. And while I love Colt McCoy, hook 'em horns, I do not think. Yeah, it looks like Kyler Murray's off the injury report, so he's going to play. Okay, yeah, back to turnover land. The Raiders and the Seahawks. This game is really ugly. Seahawks at second in the NFC West at 6-4. Vegas Raiders at 3rd and 7. They're actually above the Broncos right now. And look, Geno Smith, we're taking him. We're shooting on him. Kenneth Walker, we're shooting on him. And Tyler Lockett, we're shooting on him. We're shooting on Devontae Adams. We're shooting on Josh Jacobs. And, Derek Carr actually has almost as many passing yards as Geno Smith, so you can shoot on him. I think Josh Jacobs is going to play. And, yeah, I think that there's not really a lot of moving pieces here. It's pretty straightforward at this point. You see what you get. If you are down bad, you're starting people and it works for you, that's great. But I'm not cued into that shit, bro. You're on your fucking own. And speaking of which, Isaiah Pacheco, he's on his own. And he's helping the Kansas City Chiefs play against the Rams at what was once considered the best game of football at all time. I think it still might be that. The Chiefs-Rams. We got another one. This one's way less sexy. Matthew Stafford's out. Both of the centers for the Rams are out. Tony the Tiger's out. This game's going to be fucking boring, bro. He's going to throw to Travis Kelce 30 million times. Isaiah Pacheco is going to get 30 million carries. And then Cam Akers is going to have 20 carries for 5 yards and a touchdown. And, Cooper Kupp will be out. So, boring game. Allen Robinson is questionable. I hope he doesn't play. My opponent has him. And, really boring game. Chiefs are going to win it. Shoot on Patrick Mahomes. Shoot on Kelce. Shoot on whatever fucking Chiefs wide receiver is actually fucking healthy. I don't see. Juju is. I guess, is Juju healthy or is Juju on? I don't even know. Ask Brian. Anyways, we have the New Orleans Saints at the Niners. So the Niners are first in their division. Saints are third at 4-7. The Niners are pretty easy. You shoot on Ayuk, you shoot on Debo, you shoot on McCaff, and Jimmy G is a serviceable backup quarterback for your league. We're shooting on Olave, we're shooting on Kamara, we're not shooting on Dalton. We can shoot on Voldemort if you have a tight end slot which you need filled, or if you need a slot or a super flex. So I'm sorry, flex or super flex, not slot or super flex. But that's about it. We're not really starting. I'm not looking at the kickers. We'll start the Niners defense. Of course, we're starting the Niners defense. You should be starting them every game. Okay, in the important matchup of the week, the green game, we have the Packers at the Eagles. A team which was once great is playing a team which was once bad, and now the roles have been reversed. And the Eagles, 9-1, are knocking on the door, ready to pack Green Bay's fudge in. Now, we're shooting on Sanders, Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. We're shooting on those 4 guys. Dallas Goedert is on IR. So one less mouth to feed. As far as the Packers are concerned, it looks like Dobbs is out with an ankle injury. So Christian Watson is probably going to lead the way and carry the team. I would not be shooting on any of the Packers because they look atrocious. They look bad. And I think there's better things out there for fantasy. Speaking of teams that look bad, that there's better things out there for fantasy, the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing. And I'm starting Najee because Najee's been looking good, man. I might have gotten away with something trading Juju for Najee because Najee's looking pretty. He's looking nice, bro. And he's my RB2. So I have Najee and Rachaad White in my lineup this Sunday. I feel good about that. I had Pollard play. He got me 18 rushes for 60 yards and 2 targets, 1 yard. So not perfect, but it's PPR, so every little bit helps. And Pat Freiermuth, you're starting him. That's it. You're starting Pickens. You're starting Harris. You're starting Freiermuth. You're probably not starting Kenny Pickett. You're starting J-Train. You're starting Michael Pittman. That's it. Well, guys, I know that these these games are a little more Jesus, my camera been doing that the whole time. They're a little more, condensed, but love you guys. Here are my takes for Shooter Ceasefire. My fucking my parting shot is I miss trade deadlines. I'm sorry. I miss trades. There's a trade deadline. There aren't trades in the league, and I miss it. I miss trades. I wish trades were an all-year thing, but I get why they're not. Yeah. And fantasy football is in life. Don't just stream it.